Hello, everyone. Good morning or good evening, good, middle of the night if you're Lucy, wherever you are. Welcome to a very episode of Road to Hagdom. Look, as you know, we've been looking at imitation series, and we've been doing a debrief on that. But some of us are real noobs to K-drama. We don't know any of the terminology. We don't know, the general different genres and stuff like that. So I'm one of those people. I've only watched, I think, one full drama, one season of one, and one episode of another, and an imitation. Swenson is also one of those people. But luckily, we have a bunch of K-drama experts here to help us. And we have a special guest host today, one of our previous guests, Lauren. So take it away, Lauren.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren. I'm 34. I'm from Virginia, and I've been watching K-dramas for quite a while, so I'm really excited to talk about them today. So, yay.
Yay. Yay. Okay. Okay, and our first, what are we going to talk about first?
So I think...
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so I think first we wanted to maybe talk about like how each of us got into K-dramas.
Mm-hmm.
What in the name of heaven was that?
No! It's coming for all of us.
That was
I'm traumatized now.
That was a K-drama.
No.
Yeah, that was a K-drama.
That was
outro.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
I know you've all been waiting for it.
Oh.
Should I just start then?
Oh my God.
Oh my.
Look, we're just going to do it
Incredible.
again because Trisha...
Yep,
The only
still
thing-
traumatizing the second time.
the only thing missing are the ads at the bottom of like
They're all grayed out.
the Subway ad at the bottom.
It was really late. It was so late.
Yeah, that's so funny. Anyway,
Carry on.
well,
It's always Subway. So.
it always is Subway, yes, or Maxim Coffee. So yeah, I got into K-dramas in the latter half of 2018 by way of Netflix, and actually I watched a Chinese drama first. Netflix recommended Rise of the Phoenixes, so when I finished that, it started recommending K-dramas. So okay, well, I'll try this, and then soon I subscribed to Drama Fever. Rest in peace, Drama Fever, which was a subscription service, and that just up and died one day without explanation. So, and then I was signed on to Viki after that. And so I kind of watch between stuff that's on Viki, stuff that's on Netflix and YouTube, there's always something to watch. So that's pretty much all I watch now is Asian dramas, whether it's K-dramas, C-dramas, with a spattering of like Thai and Japanese in there too, Taiwanese. So that's kind of my road in, and it was sort of like and K-dramas was how I found K-pop too. So they kind of, I think for a lot of people they interweave a lot, because I watched Scarlet Heart and Baekhyun from EXO was in that, and that's how I found EXO, and that was my entry into K-pop. So it's sort of like this whole big wonderful K-world.
Yep. Who wants to go next? I can take over.
Yeah.
So I've been a K-drama fan since I remember watching my first K-drama in 2009. I watched Boys Over Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much, seems to be a lot of people's that are older K-drama fans' first drama. I enjoyed it, but it was kind of kitschy. So it wasn't until I watched Coffee Prince that I was like hooked. That was when I discovered Gong Yoo, which what a man. But I actually eventually much later I got into K-pop. But K-dramas have always been something I've really loved. Back when I used to watch them, I had to like find them on forums, find ones that were on YouTube, download them on like torrenting apps. When Drama Fever came out, that was like a revelation. And then Viki came, and then It was just so much easier to watch dramas then. It was just amazing. Now I watch on Viki, IQIYI, or whatever that one site is, Aichi. I've been watching a few dramas on that are like exclusive to that. That also has a lot of Chinese and other Asian dramas as well. Viki and Netflix. I feel like Netflix is probably the most beginner friendly because everybody has Netflix, and there are a lot of really good dramas on there. So I definitely hope to point some new drama watchers in the direction of some really great content.
And the good thing about Netflix is when the show shows up, the subs are already there.
Yes.
You don't have to wait on them.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I can go next. So I had just moved across the country for my husband's work. And I didn't really know my way around town or anything. And then I caught a really nasty flu. So I was stuck in bed. And I had, just scrolling for things to watch. And Boys Over Flowers was recommended to me. I have no idea why. To this day, I don't know what was happening, that this was the recommended drama for me. And I watched it. And I watched it with like a weird sort of like every episode. I was like, this is so bad. Next episode.
That's exactly what it's like.
So like,
yes, that's exactly it. I was like, I stayed up all night watching this. I'm like, okay, there's so many things wrong, but I can't turn away.
I can't stop watching. So
I can't quit you.
So when I finished that, I was like, okay, that was terrible. But it's not possible that all Korean dramas are as bad as that was. So I'm going to go find another one because that's how my brain works. It's like something was bad, try a different version of it. Maybe it'll be good. And my second drama was Shut Up Flower Boy Band, which is very hard to find these days. But that drama is a joy. I wish it had been my first drama because it is so good. And then after that, I found Drama Fever, which I enjoyed for many years before it cut the cord on us suddenly. Thanks, Time Warner. Good times. And I got subscriptions to all of them. I watch all the countries. I watch Filipino. I watch Japanese. I watch Korean. I watch Taiwanese. I watch Thai. Lots of Thai dramas because I used to live in Thailand, so I already had watched Thai dramas before. But I watch too many. Like there's this service called My Drama List that basically you can just mark down all the, keep track of all the dramas you've watched and what you're currently watching and what you thought of them. Just sort of a little database for yourself. But it also has a little feature that calculates up how much time all of the things that you watched. Yeah. Yeah.
The counter of shame. I call it.
Oh my God, that's like someone telling you how much you spend on K-pop. You don't need that.
Yeah, no, and it's like, and it does it in days. Ooh.
Yeah, that's when Apple tells you your screen time and you're like, nobody asked you. Okay, nobody asked you how much time I spent on my phone.
I didn't need this kind of negativity in my life. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's been, I'm going to say I have spent more than a year of my life.
Wow.
Watching K-dramas in accumulated time.
Oh, I haven't checked that. I don't want to check that.
Yeah, don't do it. Trish, you're only going to feel bad about yourself.
That's
you're
like 12
only going to
years.
feel bad about your life choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And that's not even counting ones I've watched more than once. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. What about you, Lucy?
I came into the whole thing through anime and then Japanese live adaptions of anime. So I watched a lot of Japanese live action sort of dramas first, and then oddly went to Taiwan and then came around to Korea in 2009 with Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah,
Everyone was going on about it, and I was like, well, I'll just check it out, shall I? And that's how I got into K-pop, because SHINee were on the soundtrack for that, and that song was on all the time. And I was like, who is this?
And SS501.
Almost paradise.
Still to this day used on variety shows all the time.
Like,
that's
Swenson, that's where it's for, and it plays at least once every episode. At least once. If
it's
not
a
more.
meme now. It's a meme now.
It is
like that's the level.
I mean, a lot of that drama I think is a meme now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The hair for sure.
Japanese dramas still have that hair. Japanese dramas still have that hair. They've committed. They're not letting it go.
They're not going back. They're not going back. I can't remember.
Dream Night. I'm just looking at the comments.
Swenson and I all let us. Well, I haven't watched K-dramas, so that's why I'm a noob here. I mean, I used to, when I first got into K-pop, I watched like Running Man and stuff like that, and I started watching, and then I thought I might get into dramas, but they just sounded, I don't know, I just thought, oh God, sounds really naff. So, but then I finally watched season 1 of Kingdom because it was a zombie drama, and of course, and it was a period piece, and I love anything zombie I'll watch. Like I've watched World War Z like 100 times, and then I didn't watch anything after that because at that time I was getting right into my YouTube channel, and I was always editing, and most TV that I watch I only listen to. So I can't, for K-dramas I have to put everything down and read the subs, and I just haven't had time to do that. So I mean, I probably have time, but I do other stuff, right? But then I finally cracked and decided to watch one. So I love the supernatural crime stuff. So I actually watched Tunnel, and I really loved it. Oh my God, I loved it. So I loved it. I loved the humor, and I loved the drama, and I loved the supernatural part and the romance. I mean, I loved everything about it.
Not so naff after all, is it, Frankie?
But then I got onto Twitter, and I asked everyone for a list of other supernatural type crime dramas. So I've got a list like this.
There are a lot.
There's many.
Do you think I've watched one? I said I was going to watch them on the treadmill. So one, I haven't been on the treadmill. Hence.
What is that?
Two, I just haven't watched them. So that's my story. And Imitation, I'm really enjoying that again. So I really want to dedicate some time every week just to, even if it's just once every couple of days, not, I'm a terrible binge watcher. I'm just afraid to start one because I know I'll binge it and then I won't get anything else in my life done. Over to you, Swenson.
I mean, that's basically my life now.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm just not a drama person in general, because growing up, there's like heaps. I was born and raised in Malaysia, so there's certainly more. The sphere of influence on like Asian dramas are more prominent over here. But even then, I do tend to find watching movie more enjoyable rather than committing to like a month long of dramas. And then in the case of K-drama, for as long as I can recall, I had 5, if not at most 6 of dramas over the past 10 years. When I'm into K-pop, out of that past 10 years, there's just this 5 or 6 dramas that I've managed to follow through from the first episode through to like end of it, which is usually I reckon 16 or 20 episodes. So
generally.
Last year was, I guess, a little bit of a turning point, but even still, throughout the whole of 2020, I watched 2, and that's Startup and Extracurricular on Netflix. So I thought that I might be able to dedicate more towards watching K-drama, but then even we're halfway through 2021, and I just can't decide on which one to commit to for this year. So hence I'm here. Please.
We're going to help you. We're here to help you, Swenson.
Yeah, help us help you.
No, we will need help.
Much excitement.
So much excitement, please.
Can I just quickly shout out that Lie to Me was mentioned and that absolutely amazing Coke kiss?
Yes. So I need to say something about this Coke kiss, because I remember watching it and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so romantic, so hot," and all I could think is, "Ooh, sticky."
Yeah, that was going to
be so sticky.
It was in a way, but also
very
sticky.
I
actually haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I don't
You
remember
should.
seeing
It's
it.
really good.
Basically they
There's so many
shower each other
dramas,
with-
so little time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like an older one, so it's a little harder
Yeah.
to find, but
Yeah, the older ones all kind of get lost in the blur of dramas for me. So unless they really stand out to me, it's really hard for me to like hold on to those things that I watched in like 2011. So.
Yeah, and I find like the older dramas, they're either like really, really good, like Coffee Prince, or like painful to watch. I'm looking at you. My name is Lee Shin. I can't do it.
I can't.
Not that
I
one.
can't
Sorry.
go back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the one with what's his face, Hyun Bin, and where they
Mm.
just what's that one? Lee Shin. That's the one with IU. But anyway, it's awful. The one with IU is good, but that one.
Natalia has feelings.
I have a hard time. I have a hard time going back and watching the older K-dramas. So I wouldn't recommend that to personally to brand new K-drama watchers for like your 101. I would feel like that's something like Boys Over Flowers. It's not something
You need
I
to
would
get
want.
to the trope first,
yeah.
I think.
I would want to suggest to start with, just because one, the tropes are really tropey, and there are some problematic stuff, like especially in the older ones.
Boys Over Flowers.
Many problematic.
They've come a long way, but
Mhm.
it's one of those things where, like, after you've gotten into the newer ones and
Yeah.
see the quality they are now,
Mhm.
then you kind of go back and you're like, you start seeing people. Everybody talks about Boys Over Flowers, so you just watch it sort of as a kind of a cultural touchstone kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, you just like, okay, well, I will see where K dramas kind of started and how much they've evolved till now.
Yeah. I do want to mention, I don't know if now would be the time to do so, but there is actually a drama airing right now that's a remake of an older drama that has a lot of the tropes and like kind of corniness. They're leaning into it, but they're doing it in like a modern way. So you kind of have to understand that it's like the tongue in cheek. But if you want to get a feeling for what the older K dramas were like,
So I married an anti.
Yeah, so I married an anti fan. And it's
very
I
tropey,
saw
but
tweet that this
surprisingly
morning.
enjoyable. Like it's
Yeah.
so tropey, but like I'm like it's charming in its own.
Yeah, you
tropey
kind of
little way.
hate watch it, and you love that you hate it, and you hate
Yeah.
that you love it. Like that's the like old K drama, but like it's filmed so much nicer, and it's So you bring up a lot of the tropes and
also
things
has-
that you don't see as much now, because they've kind of moved on to the quality of dramas has vastly improved. So yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
Yeah, and we can like definitely discuss the tropes and all the kind of inside jokes that you see like in the another segment. So
now.
Okay, I'm like, I am like
Took the
not
liberty.
looking forward to whichever one is attached to my face. Oh boy. Oh boy.
So there are kind of general tropes in regards to like things that you could expect. Now, obviously we joke about it in K-drama in terms of tropes, but every media form has a trope. You know, like if you read a romance novel, it's either going to be like enemies to lovers, or it's enemies to lovers, contract marriages, forced living situations. Sometimes it'll be like
friends to lovers.
Friends to lovers, cross-dressing, or like mistaken gender identity and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you see that transit like all media you see in all media, but we like to the cheese factor of K-dramas is just like we just love it.
Even the most serious of K-dramas will still have so much cheese in there as well. They can't
help themselves.
Yeah,
cheese is delicious. So.
Yeah,
it is. It's bad for you, but it's delightful.
It's like you could be watching the most serious drama, and all of a sudden you get truck-a-doomed, and you're just losing it. You're unaware, a truck of doom is a particularly well-used dramatic trope where out of nowhere, an out-of-control white truck is barreling towards
they're always white.
Like,
Right. And it's
like a bus. There's an occasional bus.
There's an occasional bus.
Yeah. The thing with the Truck of Doom is like, and you get to the point where if there's a character you hate, you're hoping they're the person who gets the Truck of Doom.
Oh yeah.
It's rarely that satisfying. The other one that's like the miniature version of that is like the motorcycle of doom, where it's like apparently motorcyclists and scooter drivers in Korea are just friggin' reckless motherfuckers who are just out here swerving onto sidewalks and aiming for you. Like,
I mean, to be fair, in Korea, you gotta check both sides.
Yeah,
and like double check both sides because they don't care.
And it's so but this usually leads to either like you fall over, or maybe the hot man grabs and pulls you out of the way.
Yeah, which factors into the wrist grab.
Oh, the wrist grab, my least favorite.
Oh yeah,
the wrist grab needs to go away.
But you'll see it.
Call that out in my ID is
Gangnam Beauty.
Watching a Chara Wu. I'm selling that to everybody right now.
It's a great drama. It's a great drama.
They do call that out in there because
it's
like, I don't think she wants that.
I think it was my ID is Gangnam Beauty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got Chan Woo from Astro. He plays the lead.
Wasn't there a white van of death in one of the BTS things with Jin, and he was going to meet his girlfriend? And then you saw a white van. You saw a white van, and he's skidding in a thud, and then that was the end of his girlfriend.
Yeah,
one of the BTS.
But yeah, that's a common theme.
Yeah. The white truck of doom.
That's hilarious.
Listen, all of these delivery trucks, they're out for you. They're out to kill you and everyone you've ever loved.
What goes hand in hand in that is that you'll have the Truck of Doom, and then you have the character who's standing in the middle of the road, staring at the Truck of Doom. That's like 2 blocks away,
like deer in headlight style.
Then they cannot remember how to move their legs to get out of the way of the Truck of Doom.
Yeah,
and it's like, anyway,
it's like, okay, like you're not that far from the sidewalk. You could have made it. Like, just fucking dive or something.
Yeah, stuff like that, and kiss scenes and things like that.
Oh yeah,
and outros. They run on like what I like to call Dragon Ball Z time, because Dragon Ball Z, if anybody watched that, they would literally take 2 steps, and that was the end of an episode. So like, moments like that are painfully long if you're used to watching a lot of like Western stuff compared to that.
I saw in the comments, Cora K-pop Butt mentioned love triangles, which is like the quintessential, like the quintessential K-pop, K-drama trope. There's always a second lead, generally a second female lead. If it's a second female lead, she's generally evil, like rich and perfect and evil. Yeah, like just prissy and
And if there's like a second male lead, he's
he's the best.
So much better than the actual male. It's like a
Hello, boys over flowers. She picked the wrong man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm still mad about Startup. I stopped. I said,
no.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet.
There was literally this one. It was called Secret Hotel. And like the main lead was a literal man child, just a piece of garbage. And then the second male lead was Nam Min-gung playing this like put together, kind, sweet, understanding, well-paid man. And you're just like, on no fucking planet would this woman get back with her man-child ex when Nam Min-gung is standing right there with a whole ass job. Like, no.
And looking good doing it.
And looking hot as hell. Oh, no.
It do be like that sometimes. You have to prepare your soul to love the second lead more.
Yeah.
But you gotta brace, you gotta protect your heart.
And we spoke about this with Imitation, because obviously we all love very, very much. And that is called second lead syndrome, when you absolutely adore the second lead, and you're like, please get with him, but you know it's not gonna happen.
And please don't become.
And then sometimes they make the second lead go all stalkery, and you're like, oh
yeah, and you're just like, I'm out. Yeah.
Never mind. Just kidding. You had such potential.
Another big popular one that comes up a lot is like the rich dude and the poor spunky Cinderella.
Mary Jane complex. They call that like the Mary Jane complex.
Pretty woman.
Where it's like kind of a frumpy, like, you know, plucky girl, female lead that just gets snatched up by this super rich chaebol. The term chaebol is like family.
Because she's, you know, she's not like the other girls that he's ever met.
But
I mock it, but I
strong girl, because it sort of tips that over on its head a bit.
Yeah.
She wasn't rich. She was still like poor, but she was the strong one of the relationship as far as that was concerned. And even the scene with carrying him to safety.
All these dramas that we're mentioning for the newbies that don't know are generally these tropes are like kind of older concepts, and they're definitely like newer dramas that poke fun at or take a nice twist and are kind of like the anti-trope. So if any of those are like you find problematic, there's definitely something for you that, you know, is more empowering, or is, you know, I can there's a few dramas that I think are very like female, strong female leads and stuff like that you know, are badass.
We would mention.
I saw Sarah in the chat brought up one of our favorite things, the shower scenes where you know, where the hunky male lead gets to show off his abs and
just for no reason.
Usually
he's in there thinking.
Or they're sad about something, so they're taking like a sad shower. That's a very common one.
The sad shower,
it's one of those where you're like, I gotta rewind this and watch it again, and rewind it and watch it again.
I need to watch this to find out his inner like pathos, like what's going on in there. Like
it's because he's deep.
Funny.
Yeah, they're showing that he's introspective and
he's deep and has been in the gym recently.
It's a Taiwanese drama that's currently still airing, but it's called Beloved in House.
Oh my god, the gloves,
wearing his gloves.
Yes,
he's
he has issues.
Yeah, he has issues. But I was literally just talking about this on my podcast, where I was like, I can't tell if this show is a parody. Because like he's like cleaning the house with the rubber gloves, and then he's showering with like the gloves on, and you're like, buddy,
nothing but the gloves,
just gloves, nothing, just bare ass naked with gloves.
I don't know. I assume he has OCD.
No,
he takes them off though. Like,
okay.
So
we haven't
out really yet.
Oh yeah, what do we got?
We got a question from Tammy.
Do you watch a K-drama because your idol started it?
I have.
Yes.
I have. I generally don't prefer to. I actually am an 80s alt, and I haven't watched Imitation yet because I don't want to see Yoonho sad. So
no sad.
I'm not emotionally prepared for that. So
he's so different. Like, he must be a good actor.
He's really good actor.
He's really different. I've never seen some of these facial expressions. I've never seen him have before ever. You know what I mean?
Isn't this the first thing he's done?
He did a Dingo like mini drama web drama thing, but other than that, this is it.
This is good. Now some idols are really good actors, like Chan Woo. I mean, I've seen him in lots of stuff, like Rookie Historian. Rookie Historian, and I mean, going back to one of the older ones, I don't think Lauren likes this one, but Harang has like tons of idols, and it has like Minho from SHINee and Park Hyung-sik and So,
they're in better dramas. I would recommend better dramas than Hwarang for those particular actors.
I like Harang.
It's okay. We're allowed to like what we like.
I just don't like Go Ara in that. She's she's the weak link there. Yeah.
So
the character. I'm not going to say. Yeah.
The only drama that I ever watched specifically for the idols in it was EXO Next Door, which hilarious drama. Don't watch it if you're expecting an actual like serious like great drama. Like imagine a very cheesy fan fiction, like YN fan fiction, like reverse harem YN fan fiction, and that is XO Next Door. But what I used to do when I was first getting into K-dramas is I would watch a drama and then whoever I thought was my favorite actor in that drama, like whose performance I liked the most, I would look up what else they'd been in and I would pick a drama from their list. So then I sort of like branched out very quickly from that.
Jin Young from GOT7 is also a really good actor. Yeah, he is Psychometric is a great drama. It's kind of a psychological thriller.
Another kind of paranormal crime. Another paranormal crime.
Okay, I'm writing that one down.
It's called He is Psychometric.
Okay.
So good. And he's getting ready to be in a new one next month with Ji Sung, and I'm just like, ooh, that looks awesome.
And Dio from EXO is a fantastic actor.
Yes.
He does a lot of movies too, but like his dramas are really
100 Days My Prince.
Quite wonderful. 100 Days My Prince is on Netflix. So
I haven't watched 100 Days My Prince yet, but everything else I've ever watched from him had me bawling my fucking eyes out. So if you're not in the mood to bawl your fucking eyes out, don't watch a drama with Dio in it. Don't watch anything with Dio in it because it's emotional.
His movie Swing Kids is so good. But yes, you'll have to have tissues. And I think it's on Amazon Prime. I think that's where I watched it.
And then the movie Hyung, or My Annoying Brother, as it's sometimes translated. So good. So good, y'all. Great movie. So I hope that answers that question.
I have watched more actual Korean movies than I have dramas. Watched quite a few movies.
There are a lot of actually really good. I watched dramas for so long before I got into K-pop that when I started looking into K-pop and getting into K-pop, especially like second gen groups, the amount of dramas and actors that I had no idea were idols blew my mind. I was literally like, what? I was like, he's an idol? Like from
2 p.m.
She was pretty 2 p.m. members. Juno from 2 p.m.
Oh yeah.
God, he's amazing. He's an amazing actor.
Chief Kim.
Chief Kim. What was the one that was like the melodrama? That was like the melodrama.
Just Between Lovers?
Just Between Lovers. Yeah. I had no idea he was an idol, and that was an amazing drama.
There's huge crossover.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Between K-pop and K-drama. I mean, there's just
so much.
It's so different than like, I mean, here you'll have some actors who, are singers and vice versa, but it's so pervasive there. So
it's a real
Taeyeon from 2 p.m. does a lot of acting
amazing.
Too.
A lot of 2 p.m. Actors.
SF9 has almost the whole group, like
Vecteezy send a lot of them to acting. The Punky as well from Future Island is in quite a few dramas, including I forgot what it's called now. The one that I first watched do. And
the one with Lee Seung-gi.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. Oh my gosh. I think it's on Netflix. It's for
Is it the
Hwayugi?
Oh, okay.
That's kind of a paranormal fantasy romance. There's a lot of those.
It's fun. It's a fun one. But that's like paranormal fantasy romance is a very common genre.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites.
I love the time.
Sorry,
why am I still not coming out?
At least the Watch Superbound side was in the background.
Sorry, I thought while you mentioned genres, I thought I'd just slip it in.
Yeah,
got them.
Transition smoothly.
I actually sort of have a little bit of a story about genres because when my mom first found out that I loved K-dramas, she assumed that all K-dramas were like soap opera-y because so in Thailand there's a thing called the licorne, and it's a genre of television that's like a very much just a Thai soap opera, and don't get me wrong, I freaking love Licorns. They're over the top ridiculous. But so she was familiar with those, and so that's what she thought all K-dramas were. And then I made her start watching them, and she's now an addict as well. She's a really big fan, and I will tell you what I made my mom watch to get into K-dramas later. But then she realized that, she was like, as many, like, there's as many genres as there are, like, from anywhere else. I'm like, yeah, like, there's crime, there's, romance, there's, historical, there's whatever you like. There's a drama for you.
But it's like, that's, you mentioned historical, and that's one of the reasons I love, like, Asian dramas, because they do a ton more historicals, like, Segugs. Yeah, that, like costume dramas. I mean, you get some of those out of, like, Great Britain and that kind of thing. But it's like in America, you don't get very many, like, historicals at all. I mean, they're kind of few and far between.
The Asian, just the culture and the beautiful costumes and everything is so much above like Western countries, I think, as far as
the history always fascinates me. It's like costume dramas I've like literally since I was a kid, and I love digging into the history that's behind the fiction, find out what the real story is. So I love that stuff.
I think that's a really important point to bring up about history, especially as like Western fans. There's a lot of culture and historical significance to things that I had no idea about until I started watching dramas. Like really like huge historical events, no clue. Like the Japanese occupation of Korea. Like, like as a American, I didn't learn about that like in school. And seeing that from a lens of kind of the Korean experience and seeing kind of dramatizations of that made me much more interested in the history. And I mean, everything from, I kept seeing in multiple dramas, there's kind of a trope where the mall falls in on, and somebody's buried under this mall or buried in this like huge like catastrophe, tragedy. And I didn't know that was a real historical event until I watched Reply, 1988? And one of the Reply series, which is a great series if you want to know, like 90s, 80s, 90s. They're all on Netflix, all the Reply series. Yeah. Like history in kind of a modern Korea and like what life was like for modern Koreans, like kind of around, the 1990s, 1980s.
It was shortly after they stopped being, that they became a democracy after they had been, under dictators for a long time. Yeah. So
another historical event, it is still airing, I think, or recently ended airing. I forget the name of it, but I started watching it and then I found out about what the historical event was about. And I was like, I'm not ready to be this depressed. What's it called? I'm literally blanking on the title. It's about the 1980 Gwangju Rebellion, which I, again, had no idea that was a thing, which basically the military came and like murdered and did atrocities to civilians. It's still kind of a part of debate, but it really helps to understand and care about the culture that we invest in. It's like, how do we get to this pretty K-pop boys, right? Like, how do we get to this point where, Korea is, the amazing, like, kind of economic powerhouse that it is. It has not been that way always. And I think it's important to understand the context of the historical, and I feel like the history of Korea and what they've been through and their struggles and strifes and the dramas helps us, I feel like, emotionally engage with that in a way that it's hard for us to do since we haven't lived that experience. But
it's interesting because too, like, it touches on history, but it's not really historical drama. And it's good because there's an American drama that it's based on that you can kind of compare. It's like, I had originally watched the American drama Designated Survivor, and then they made a Korean version called Designated Survivor 60 Days. And there's a lot of stuff that's similar, but by watching the Korean one, you see how different, like their political system is, and like what their go-to of like who's behind this. Like their first thought is it's the North Koreans, and it's sort of like it was interesting to me to kind of see how their political system worked, and kind of like what they would do in that type of situation compared to like, the American version. Of course we have different enemies, but theirs is like right on their doorstep, so that was interesting to watch the two.
That was one of the ones I actually, because I did watch the first two seasons of the American one, and then I saw the Korean one on Netflix, and I did actually watch the first probably half a season, and then I forgot to watch the rest of it. So, but
it's good
to see how they'd how different it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
So I have a little story about this sort of history thing. So I'm big into history. So like as soon as I watched a show that like centered around like, I would mention something, I'd go look it up because I find it interesting. So I was listening to, so once upon a time there was a variety show called Infinite Challenge. And in one, like they had like an arc where they teamed up with rappers and they created rap songs about Korean history. And so Haha teamed up with Mino from Winner, and they did a song called Shoot, and it was about Admiral Lee Sun-shin, who defeated 300 Japanese boats with 12 boats. And it's like a really well-known story. And so I was telling my friend about like this historical event, and he goes, wow, like there should be a movie about that. And I was like, yeah, there's a very famous movie about it called Roaring Currents that you just don't know about because in America they don't really care about movies from other countries most of the time. So it was just sort of highlighted to me at the time.
Here.
Yeah. And even in Canada, it's bizarrely America-centric because, the borders were right on top of your America is Canada's pants, so.
Oh dear.
But there are dramas too. There are like certain ones that show up in K-dramas too that like you don't really see other places. Like I wrote this down somewhere. I have many notes. This is kind of how my thing. But you have the ones where they're like a main character is they're either cursed or they're cursed. They've lived a long time, so they've seen a lot of stuff. So some of the famous ones are like Goblin. That is like one that like the alternate title is Guardian, which sometimes gets confused with the Chinese drama of the same name. But anyway,
there's also another Korean crime drama called Guardians. So like,
it can get confusing.
That's why we call it Goblin.
Goblin, yeah. And then and then two of the ones that came out last year were Mystic Pop-Up Bar, which is on Netflix, and then Tailed and the Nine-Tailed. So all of those
currently airing now as well that I'm watching. Doom at Your Service, which is amazing.
Yeah, excellent.
And then My Roommate is a Gumio, which is only like 4th episode. It's really cute. So I love it. So
Can I just say there are a lot of Gumio dramas out there. I went on a binge to watch them all up to this point before I challenged myself before this new one started.
Oh yes, Marina in the chat. It's the Goblin soundtrack. Yes, the Goblin soundtrack is phenomenal. I bought it, like the physical copy of it. It's so good.
That was one of the early ones I watched because I saw it all over Twitter. I actually watched the first episode of Goblin and I cried so much I couldn't watch any.
So sad. It starts off really, really sad.
It gets less sad. It gets less sad.
Because I goes, yes, now I remember. I did try to watch them and then traumatized. That Goblin just had me like howling, so I just
it's so funny. It's so funny.
That is a characteristic of K-dramas though. Like even the rom-coms will have you bawling at least one episode.
Imitation first episode had me bawling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I find that dramas, they take you on a nice emotional roller coaster as well. And most of them, like, so if it's like 16 episodes, around episode 12, you know that there's going to be what I've called the dark turn. where like
Oh yes.
something bad happens to whatever is happening, or and if it's like a 20 episode, it's going to be like around episode 15. The dark turn happens. Another fun thing about a lot of K-dramas is what I call the surprise serial killer, where there will be like a surprise serial killer in the middle of a rom-com, and you're like, whoa, wait a second. Like, so
that or a terminal illness, or like
really weird. And there's a lot of face blindness in like K-dramas.
Oh yeah, very common, very common. Amnesia, very common.
Amnesia is very common.
Also, gut issues. Why is everyone passing out from stomach aches?
Yeah, who knows? The mystery continues.
Because they didn't take their hangover, didn't eat their hangover soup.
That's true. But like dramas, when we're talking about genres, they refuse to be in one genre. They refuse to just have a single, like if it's a rom-com, it's also going to be a crime drama, or it's going to be a medical drama, or there's going to be magic somehow.
Y'all see Toya in the chat?
Toya, yes, Toya. I love those dramas where one of the characters, this is a very common trope as well,
yes,
will
always episode 15.
Will leave to like for whatever reason
to America. It's always to America.
To America or wherever. And like forget that email and cell phones exist.
Yeah, they don't speak for like 3 years or something. You're just
and then it's like they show back up and like everything's fine. And I'm like, bitch, no, if someone ghosted me like that, I'd be like, I'm moving on. Like
that was definitely very common in older dramas. I have seen a little bit of a turn away from that. At least I haven't seen any lately that I remember that are like, hey, we're just not going to talk for like 3 years.
Yeah. I think one that I can think of, which is only a year, was you know what? I'm not going to say it because then I realized that now we're getting into spoiler territory, and I'm not going to do that to people. I'm not going to do that to people. I'm going to take it back. I put those words right back in my mouth. I'm out. Yeah.
We probably spoiled a lot of random things along the way.
Listen, this is bound to happen. But the fun thing the fun thing about K-dramas is like with a lot of them, it's sort of like reading like a romance novel where you know how it's gonna end up. You know, you know where this is going. So it's like when people are like, "Oh, you spoiled that rom-com." I'm like, "What? Did you think they weren't going to end up together at the end?" Like, chill out.
That's one of my questions. If it's also predictable, what is the attraction if it's also predictable?
But
it's the journey.
Yeah, and also it's also not that predictable. Like, sure, you know they're gonna end up, but like, when's the serial killer gonna come out, or when is it gonna be revealed that they were secretly like next door neighbors that survived a fire
there
together?
Are twists.
Or
there are twists.
Oh, okay. When are you gonna find out that like these two characters are secretly not like the thankfully not the two in love characters, but like two side characters are actually siblings from like long lost siblings who lost each other in the orphanage. When are you gonna find it? You don't know. You don't know when it's gonna pop out.
Yeah,
it could come from anywhere.
Like Frankie was asking.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, Frankie was asking like, what's the attraction? You know, like so, like maybe each of us can talk about like what is it about K-dramas that hooked us, and like, why do we keep coming back? I mean, for me, like one of the things that I really loved about him when I first started watching is typically it's one season and done.
Yeah.
It's like the writers know at the beginning how much space they have to tell the story. So, you know, if they're good writers, then they know how to do the story arc to have a satisfying ending. Whereas like American shows, I got so frustrated over and over because either something I really liked got canceled before the story was finished, or it went on well past its best by date.
I'm looking at you, Supernatural.
Okay, I did watch all 15 seasons of Supernatural.
I did too, but I'm still looking at you, Supernatural.
Supernatural, yeah.
But it's like I love knowing how long the story is going to be when I start it, and if they are doing their job correctly, then they can, you know, they know where to put the beats of the story in to make it fit. Whereas like the people who are writing the American ones, it's like they don't know from season to season. They could get one season, they could get 15 seasons. They don't know. So it's hard to tell a story that way without just like repeating yourself over and over.
Yeah.
For me, go ahead.
No, you go.
The thing that really, there's a couple things. One is exactly what Trish said. The kind of beginning and end is set. So I can, like, I'm a binger too, right? But I can binge an entire series if it's completed in like a weekend and then move on with my life. And that's really fulfilling.
Yeah.
2 is I've always really liked romance novels. I've always really liked certified happy endings. Now there are dramas that are not certified happy endings.
Yeah.
There are melodramas, and those will push your heart in. I think that Korean dramas specifically, and I have watched other Asian dramas, and I don't think I haven't seen any that do it as well as Korean dramas, but there's this like bittersweetness, this like melancholy that even in, like I said earlier, even in rom-coms, like you'll just get these moments of just like really pure emotion, and you can like laugh and cry in the same hour time span, like bust out laughing and then bawl your eyes out in the same hour. And it's kind of like, it's nice to purge, you know, it's nice to like get that out, but still have a positive resolution, and still have a hopeful kind of ending. Now, I purposefully avoid sad endings. Like there are definitely those. I matrix those. I'm like, how does it end? No, not me. Because I get very messed up by sad endings. And that's why I don't like, you know, things like American shows, somebody will quit. Like they don't want to do this next season. So dead. Now there's this character that I'm emotionally invested in, and now they're dead. And I'm like, great, awesome. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, so that's exactly
and
what
that's something you need to know if you watch Chinese dramas is they love to kill. They love to kill off characters.
Oh, they do.
So if you make it to the end with like the couple still alive and together, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I only watch like Chinese like school romances, like the like college young love stuff. That's all I watch out of Chinese dramas. I can't do it.
The Chinese ones are quite brutal and long.
Yeah.
We talk about the Korean ones. I've got like 12 to 16 episodes generally. Chinese ones can go on for like 40 or more.
I am watching the Legends right now. I have been watching the Legends forever. It has 55 episodes. I was so excited last night when I hit episode 40. It's like I only have 15 left, and like I have an entire K-drama left.
I love pain. So I love sad endings. I love tragedy. Ooh, give it to me. I eat that up. But what I like about like the non-tragic ones, like, you know, the ones that you kind of know where they're going, is like there's something comforting about like just like a nice sweet rom-com, you know? Like you don't have to worry about, you can watch it without anxiety and stress because you're like, okay, yes, bad things will probably happen to some of these people. But, you know, at the end, they're going to like, you know.
They'll be happily ever after.
Yeah.
And I have anxiety. I need the assurance that there's going to be happily ever after. This is for escapism.
We're just all soft. That's basically what we're saying.
Right.
Well, I saw Toya said in the chat, you know, about the romances. She's like, I'm not a prude, but it's sort of like, you know, I like the innocence of the romances that the romance stories that they tell. And that's something that drew me too.
Yeah. A lot of the times, though, I feel like they take it a little far. Yeah. Where I'm like,
the kissing of the lips with no kissing.
Like, no, it's like we're supposed to believe that this attractive, successful 35-year-old woman has never even gone on a single date or held hands with some. No, I'm out. Like, no,
I was telling one of my friends who doesn't watch K-dramas, I was like, you're lucky if they kiss before the last few episodes in a K-drama.
Episode 8.
It's all about the yearning. The yearning.
And someone's getting a back hug on episode 8.
Yeah. If you like slow burn
or piggyback ride.
like,
I mean, if you like Pride and Prejudice and you like that
yeah.
slow burn
And
of like
chaos.
barely like just when he like puts his hand in her hand and you're like, ooh, just K-dramas are for you. K-dramas are for you.
Did y'all see the names that Frankie's giving us now?
See, I already gave myself the name, so
exactly.
Up. I came into this knowing what was going on. Oh, the piggyback ride when drunk. What a classic.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Or the kiss under the umbrella in the rain.
That yellow umbrella.
Always.
Maybe I'll fall in love if I get a
White
yellow
trucks and
umbrella.
Can I just say one reason to watch K-drama?
Yes. And he's back from the military.
He's back.
I saw a picture of him somewhere with long hair now.
Oh, God.
Woo.
We all swooned like Victorian women.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Can I?
Wait,
can I
I'm sorry,
Trisha's on mute.
I was muted. I'm here talking to no one. But I got a friend of mine who had never watched K-dramas to watch a K-drama with me when I went to her house. We watched Romance is a Bonus book, which has Legion. Nuna romances, yeah. And in addition to, the romance and how she and I are both writers, so we loved all the book stuff, the book love that was in it. But then, there was an amazing parade of amazing coats that this man was wearing throughout that. It's just he's like the king of coats. But it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Lee Jang-suk pops up in a lot of Nuna romance stuff. He's like the king of it, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's sometimes some real good kissing. Someone mentioned Great Kisser. Dramas sometimes have.
It's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better.
Oh, it's gotten much better in the last couple of years. There was a brief period where it was real prudish. I remember, I think there was one, Bride of the Century. Okay. So it has, what's his face from FT Island as it's a classic chaebol situation, but they're married, okay? And this isn't a good drama. I don't recommend it, but they're married, and so they're having their like first night together, okay? And so they're in bed, fully clothed, jewelry, everything, fully clothed, and then it starts to fade to black while they're like leaning towards each other. Mm. Yes, honky, thank you. And then it like they literally like the actors pause before even kissing, and then it just like goes all the way to black. And then like the next morning they wake up still in their clothes, and then like we're supposed to believe that they had a wild night. Like
this is like a
wild they were
like
getting,
a sitcom from the 1950s or something.
Yeah. It's like,
can I just say the kissing in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim?
Oh,
yes. We'll take that one.
Oh, and what was the the one
best K-drama kisses? That's a good.
What was the one that was out where it has Park Min Young in it too? Her and the dude from Coffee Prince, I think.
Oh my ghost.
Oh,
I'm
just
Park Min
No.
Young.
No.
What is it called?
Private Life. Her Private Life.
Her Private Life. Yeah, that has some good kissing in
Woo!
it too.
Woo! I got my mom watching that one right now.
And that one, if you're interested, if you're a Nuna who likes K-pop, that's who the main character is. She is literally a fan site. She's literally a fan site.
She's a secret super fan.
Yeah, she's a literal secret fan.
Wow, it's so
secret
good.
Fan site owner.
Yeah,
and that one has a really good like a mature romance in that there's like no games going on. They're just it was a really good.
Two adults having an adult romance.
Yes.
And there's a nice sort of like thing about being older and still having like sort of interests that are considered childish and stuff.
Mhm.
It addresses that, so you really see yourself in it as a hag in K-pop.
Yeah.
It also discusses things like Korean adoption and like international adoption, and then kind of there are important cultural issues that come up in dramas that it's a nice way to kind of learn a little bit about the culture and about like problems in society and issues that are going on in Korea, other than, you know, you see a lot of misogyny, you see a lot of sexism in the office.
Yes.
There are a lot of things,
a lot of bullying.
You see, bullying, things that you see in K-dramas that really kind of helps you get an appreciation for some, not all, but like a hint of what Koreans are facing and have some empathy for their experiences. So
I saw Sui mention Encounter too. That's another good Nuna romance with, you know, that has a very, you know, mature romance story to it.
Yeah.
So, that has Song Haikyo, who she's beautiful, and and then I'm blanking on his name.
no, fuck. The guy that's in a cult. The guy that's in a cult. That guy.
Park Bo-gum.
I mean, that's more than that's.
Did
more
you say
than
he's in a
one,
cult?
Lauren. That's
He's
more
in a
than-
cult.
He is
He's
in a
literally
cult.
in a cult.
He's
Not to
literally
burst
in a
your
cult
bubble.
church. Like,
He's
not,
in a literal
not a
cult.
joke. He's in a literal.
It's a cultural thing that
No, he's a cult. It's not cultural.
Well,
it's a cult.
No, I'm just saying it's like it's sort of more acceptable.
It's basically like he's part of a very cultish church.
It's
not
like
that church.
Like Scientology?
No,
No,
like
it's
super conservative.
No, it's a
Christian.
Scientology. It's kind of Scientology.
Yeah.
Like that's a good example.
But
But with
with Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's Jesus.
Scientology, but with Jesus.
To answer the question in the chat, her private life is, I can confirm, yes, is on Viki for anyone interested in watching it. I know we're really blowing people's mind today with this whole cult news. Sorry to ruin your day, everyone.
He's still very cute. He's still very cute.
He's still a good actor, and to my knowledge, has never done anything bad to anyone. So
he seems
do
like
with that what you will.
And he was raised in the cult as well. So
yeah. It's important data to know, I think, though.
Yeah.
You know, know who you support.
Yeah. So,
shall we move on to?
It's still not me. I just wanted to be over.
Just like
Jesus.
We have discussed some of this already in terms of like chaebol, second lead syndrome. We've discussed Nuna romances. That's kind of it's a genre as well, but also, you know, obviously the kind of general, you know, Korean terms for things.
Yeah, so a chaebol, if anyone didn't catch it, is like the heir to a rich family.
Yeah.
So it can be like first generation, second generation, third generation chaebol. A Nuna is an older woman, not like old woman, but I mean like she's older than the person she's talking to. Yeah. And so a Nuna romance would be older woman, younger man.
Which, can I say, happens in Korean dramas quite frequently, but not in Western stuff.
No. Mind you, like, listen, the older man and younger woman, that's everywhere around the world. Like,
oh yeah. But sadly not the other way around very often.
So a lot of people I see get really upset about like age gap romances, but I don't get upset about age gap romances, but I think that's because I'm a little biased because my dad was 30 years older than my mom. So, and it wasn't like creepy. Like she was in her 30s when they got together. So it wasn't like some creepy old man. Literally it was her friend's dad. Listen, things happen, man.
Yeah, that'd make a great drama.
What K-drama is this?
I know, pretty much. Well, no, it gets even better because so her friend, my brother, was the town priest. And my mom's not Catholic, but she wanted to make friends because she had just moved to Canada. And she was a widow. And so she became the pianist at the church. And then he left the church, like he left. So everyone was like, oh, like I think Joanne and Bill are, that wasn't the case. My brother is gay. So he was, kicked out of the church. But so then my mom got a job with the government and had to travel a lot, but she had there were 4 of us because she had adopted 4 kids. And she was talking to Bill and she's like, oh, I need someone to like look after the kids while I'm on my business trip. And he was like, oh, well, like my dad's retired. Like he could look after your kids. So it was literally like she started shopping the nanny, okay? But like in reverse. It was like the reverse, like getting with the nanny.
Get him, Mom.
And she's like, he was the most like eligible like widower in town. Like all the old ladies were so upset. Like this young woman like snatched him.
I was just thinking what genre would we put this under if we were
this would be a rom-com.
It's called Natalia. That's the
genre. Listen, my whole life is
slice of life. Natalia's slice of life.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Slice of life, if you're unfamiliar, is like a drama that sort of like just follows regular life happening. It's more common in Japanese dramas, I find.
Japanese.
Chinese dramas too. Too. Mandarin dramas.
Would it be a road to Hagdom stream without it becoming a bit of a drama? Come on. Come on now. Come on.
Some camera breaks, some sound stops working, somebody's got crazy off the side.
Push the wrong button.
No, listen, they all say they're watching. It gets way more interesting than that because my mom's first husband was a helicopter pilot that she met in Nicaragua during the Contra War when she was living in the jungle as a nurse. So, like, listen, it gets more exciting. Like,
my parents were nowhere near that exciting.
That's like some Descendants of the Sun shit.
Yeah.
Like
he wasn't like
that's another classic K-drama.
Yeah, so that's like he was a medical helicopter pilot, so he would deliver her medical supplies in the middle of the jungle where she lived in Nicaragua. So, anyway, that's another time. I'm tantalizing you with tales of Natalia, but
I saw Lucy in the chat. You mentioned Memorist, and I totally agree with you.
Oh, it's a good one.
I mentioned it because it also has a sort of cult segment, which sheds light on the whole sort of situation. Because by far, it's not the only cult in Korea.
No.
There was an issue with one of those particular cults spreading the coronavirus breakout that they had over there, because they all refused to listen.
And if you like that sort of like drama, there's another one called Save Me, and it is on Netflix, I do believe. Yes. And it is fantastic. There's Tachyon from 2 PM in it. And it is so good. And it's about like a girl and her family who get sort of trapped in a cult. It's wild. It's a great show.
I haven't seen that, but I remember seeing the ad for it.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorites.
While we're talking of dramas, I'm just going to tell you my mum and dad's story.
Oh, please, I love it. I
just realised it's a little drama on its own. So my mum was, my dad was a Marine, so US Marine. So he's one of the youngest sergeants as well in the US Marine Corps. I think he made sergeant at 19. He got a luxury posting at the American Embassy in Ceylon. And he was 19 when he went there, and my mum was a typist working at the embassy, and she's 3 years older than him, so she's a Nuna. So she was like 22, and every day when she arrived, they'd see each other when she came through the gates, and their eyes met, and they fell in love. My grandfather highly disapproved of American Marines, as you do when you're a father in Sri Lanka or Ceylon back then. So they secretly saw each other for 3 years behind the family's back, and then my dad proposed. So what happened? He proposed, and they were going to get married, and he wanted to start a life somewhere for them, but they couldn't decide whether to live in Sri Lanka or the United States, so they decided on Australia. So my dad came here a year before her and carved out a career as a surveyor. So a year apart. And when you haven't got the internet, it's a lot. And then she came over a year later in 1962 and they got married.
I love
and
it.
then, and then all her family came over, and then I was born 3 years later. So that was.
I love it.
Little,
Frankie, I love it. No, see, that is legitimately a drama plot. Like,
yeah, it was really sweet. I love it.
That is cute.
It is cool.
Yeah, my parents are boring.
Absolutely.
Parents knew each other as kids.
Yeah.
So Swenson.
I was born out of wedlock, so that's
were you?
exciting.
Oh, yeah, my yeah. I was going to ask Swenson if he's got any questions. I've been asking a few.
I was about to ask about how the fact that K-dramas in general are 16 or like 20 episodes long, and then there's this little subset of web dramas which are like 5 or 6 episodes, 30 minutes long. I mean, you guys have watched a lot, and then how do you find yourself pacing, jumping from one, say, a full-fledged drama over to like a web drama, or even like some series that runs across like 6 seasons? How do you guys see that?
Tend to go from like a really big heavy drama to like a little web drama afterwards, and then to another big drama, and then a web drama, or watch them alongside each other, because I'll rarely watch a still airing drama because I love watching several episodes in a row. So, but I will do that happily if it's a web drama. So I'll watch them alongside each other and stuff. And web dramas are really good if you just want to support, because a lot of idols tend to be in those little web dramas. Like Dating Class is full of like Luna's, is it? I've forgotten her name. That's really annoying.
Member of Luna.
Yeah, a member of Luna, and Soam from K&K, Kunigun, and other people.
Something. Yeah,
are in that one.
There's a lot. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, Lauren.
I have a similar. I have like a flow. There's another kind of term is K-drama burnout or drama burnout. So you kind of will, binge a lot of things. For me, I'll binge a lot of things, and then I'll just kind of get exhausted by the like heaviness of a plot, or just like really intense plots or like events. So I just can't do a drama. I can't sit through like a whole drama episode or anything. So I'll frequently take that opportunity to watch either Korean variety or like web dramas. And yeah, there are a lot of like very idol centric ones. Playlist Originals is a YouTube channel that has a lot of really great idol dramas. 18, and then there's like a season 2 of 18, and then there's 2020. Those all 2020 is great. So great.
Yeah! They're getting a second season. Yeah,
I heard about it. I don't know. It was so good. I actually made my friend watch it this week as like my birthday gift. Like, watch this drama. So she loved it.
And Aces Beyond's just done a drama as well, which is
Be My Boyfriend. Be My Boyfriend. It's good. Watch it. But they're really quick. They're brief, maybe like 20-minute episodes. You can kind of, it's almost like a movie length. There are, when they're finished, they'll put them in like one kind of playlist, and it's almost like you watch a movie. So if you want to like kind of entry level into Korean dramas, or like the very light Korean dramas, generally like high school oriented, or like, classroom, maybe college, that's kind of a good place to start.
Sorry, I couldn't wait.
You know what? That wasn't that bad. My hair looked really good then.
Yeah.
I liked it. Thank you for that. That was a kind edit for old Natalia.
I'm just looking for segues. So carry on.
I also need to mention, was we're talking about like the short dramas that are like movies. On Viki, there is a company that's producing a series of BL dramas, which is boys love dramas, and they always turn them into movies afterwards, and they're pretty good. But the two that I really recommend, if that's your thing, is Mr. Heart, which is the sweetest thing, and
the softest
little thing, and To My Star, which like made me feel things.
It was really like, because
really well done.
Have been quite light-hearted generally, and that one was quite different too.
Yeah, it was quite good though, quite good.
The one I thought that was, the story was really different was Color Rush.
Yeah,
Color Rush.
So interesting.
I
love Wall, but that wasn't my favorite.
No,
Where Your Eyes Linger was probably one of my favorites. Yeah.
No, mine. Definitely 2-star for me. There was just something about that one. Like,
it was good. Yeah.
I don't know what it was about it, but yeah.
And a lot of those new boil of dramas have got idols or former idols in them, which is really big, because it means that it's making it more mainstream if they're comfortable to be sent in to film these things.
I feel like these web dramas in the BL genre are like, it's sort of like it's beginning to make inroads into Korea, because it's like, BL is already big in like Thailand and like Taiwan and some in Japanese, but there really hadn't been much in Korea. So these are kind of like, I feel like they're almost like testing the waters to see how well they're received, and then maybe we'll see, eventually one like on one of the major networks or something as a full-length drama. But as far as like the mixing up of them, it's like, to Swenson's question, it's like, I do watch some currently airing dramas. So it's sort of, they typically have 2 episodes a week. That's something else that's different in Korea. Is instead of like in America, you get 1 episode a week. In Korea, you have like the Monday, Tuesday dramas, and then you have like the Friday, Saturday dramas, or Saturday, Sunday. So, when I watch those, before like the next week's come out, it's easy to binge watch one of those small dramas that only has like 5 or 6 episodes before the next new episodes of the other show comes out. So, it gives you you can check off, yes, I watched something else in completion during that time.
For me, I have no self-control and no life. So I watch like 9 shows at the same time. I've been known to do the same.
Yeah, same.
So on my podcast, we do like a what we're watching every couple of months, and it's always just like, this is all the stuff I'm watching right now, and it's just insanity. But not only do I watch like the regular dramas and like the short ones, I also watch Weekenders, which is like another type of that have like 50 episodes.
Oh, like the Hagdom, the Hagdom dramas that are like super dramatic.
Yeah, like they usually are on the weekend, so you get 2 episodes on the weekend, and they're what you think of. They're what my mom thought of when I said I watched Korean dramas, and they're so juicy and dumb. Like you're just ooh. But I've had some favorites. Like there's one called 5 Children, which like I recommend to everyone because it is so good. I watched them all and at the same time and never there's no flow. There's just
I can do that occasionally. Right now I'm watching, I think like 3 or 4 currently airing ones, which is pretty much my max because I just get exhausted. I'm literally like day of like I need to catch the new episode. So that's very exhausting. I don't like that. I'd rather just binge and then move on with my life rather than be on tenterhooks for a week, every week for 2 months. But,
I prefer watching dramas that are finished airing because then like I'm impatient and I want to know what happens next. It's it is what it is.
I had a couple of years ago when the latest one from Reply series would be Reply 1988.
88, yeah.
Even that one was a few years ago, and when that came out, I actually tried watching it while also concurrently watching the earlier ones, which are 94 and 97 concurrently.
Yep.
And by doing that, I lost track on all of them. It was a mess. and I think I watched 2 episodes and that's it, because I'm like, I can't. But I guess it's because they're all of the same kind of genre, which makes it a bit confusing.
Yeah,
and thinking back, because I reckon the Reply series would be like a big good place to start with, especially
Mhm.
we mentioned earlier here that it tells us a bit about how a modern Korea is like back in the 90s or like 80s and stuff. So yeah.
97 is
Okay.
especially good. It does
Yeah,
talk about
97 is
like
really good.
the early fandom behavior and early first gen K-pop.
Oh.
So that's actually very, HOT. She's like the huge fan of HOT, and that's a whole like segment.
That's like a
So
whole thing.
It's fun.
I'm going to put you on the spot, right?
Okay.
So for each of you, and for the benefit of our friends at watching at home, and I'll put this list in the comments in the description. I want each of you to go around and I'll tell me first we'll start just one answer for a new person who's new to a K-drama. I've got a few genres here. So first, historical drama. What should they start with? Lucy?
I've got one.
Okay, while Lucy's thinking, Lauren.
I don't watch a lot.
I would say
historical
Moon
dramas,
Embracing the
so
Sun.
Better with Trish for that one.
Okay, Moon Embracing the Sun.
Moon
Trish?
Embracing the Sun.
Rookie historian Gu Hei Rong.
Okay. Natalia?
Mine is a bit more on the fantasy side, but it is one of my favorite seiyuks, and it is called Mirror of the Witch, but it is also called Secret Healer, I think.
Okay. I'll get you to send these to me as well.
Yeah.
All right, what about crime drama? It can have a twist, but basically crime. Lucy?
Memorist.
Memorist? Lauren?
The one we mentioned earlier with Jin Young.
He is psychometric.
Yeah,
Oh, psychometric. Yeah, Trish?
Flower of Evil.
Yeah.
Lawless Lawyer.
Okay. How about Supernatural?
Oh, have we got all day? Have we got all day for this one?
I know.
Oh boy.
Supernatural / it could be horror, that kind of thing.
Ooh.
If that's the
they're
name.
too different.
People come into it from a
I guess
more
they
Western
are.
perspective, and Netflix at the minute, Sweet Home is on that. If you
Sweet
love
Home
horror,
is so good.
if you really love horror, and also read the webcomic for that as well, because the webcomic's amazing. If you really love horror, Sweet Home.
Sweet Home
If
is
you want something a bit funnier and light-hearted, Zombie Detective was really funny, and also had Ace members in it.
Yes.
So,
Any others?
My kind of one of my starter suggestions always is Strong Woman Do Bong Soon.
yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's a great starter romance. It's kind of anti-tropes. If like kind of traditional tropes and like sexism and stuff like that bothers you, this is like a huge and it's funny, but it's kind of paranormal. So
Okay.
This actually falls in the category of like time travel, and it's also
I know they do all overlap.
Yeah,
a lot,
and it's also
love
a
time
short drama. It's only 2 episodes, and it's Splash Splash Love.
Oh.
And the lead male actor in that is Doo-jun from Highlight.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
For me, okay, mine is more sci-fi, and it is a little trickier to find, but if you can find it, it's literally one of the best dramas I've ever watched, and it's called Circle. It's 12 episodes, and it's like it's a sci-fi drama, so less supernatural, more sci-fi, but it's literally my favorite drama.
Sci-fi is harder to find.
Yeah, there's much less of it.
They're trying to go that right though, because Space Sweepers
that was so good. That was so good.
Movie on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved it. What about straight up rom-com?
Rom-com.
There's very few just straight up rom-coms.
Yeah.
They're always a slash. Something.
yeah, like slash
Right,
crime.
right.
I will say my
So-
favorite comedy that has romance. Very pure, lighthearted, and it will not like put you in your feelings. Is Waikiki?
Welcome to Waikiki.
Yeah, Welcome to Waikiki. Super
good.
cute, so funny, more comedy, but just a great. And then they have a sequel which has Kim Son Ho / second. I don't know. It's like a cross. It's like same universe, some same characters, but different. But it's got Kim Son Ho in it. So if anybody watched Startup and just want to see more things with him, he's just I love him.
I've got so many. I've got so many here that can also be like rom-coms essentially. I'm trying to see if this would count because it's a crime one / supernatural / rom-com, which is Two Cops. which
Oh,
is
I
really
love
Oh,
Two
good.
Cops.
Yeah.
I love Two
Yeah.
Cops. Yes.
Really
Good one.
good.
I haven't seen that.
And Kill Me, Heal Me, which will put you in your
Oh,
feels,
so
but
good.
hilarious.
Well, that was my next question. Was also tearjerker. If you want to have a good cry,
Oh.
what do you watch?
Oh well.
what's
well,
For rom-coms, I have two
Yeah.
that I recommend. The one that is just pure fluff, and the one that got my mom to watch K-dramas. So the one that's pure fluff is Shopping King Louie.
that was my answer.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It is the
Shopping King Louie.
It is the sweetest show.
I
Like,
love it. It's
that
so
also
good.
triggered me so bad.
and the other one is Jugglers, which is the one that got
That
my
one's
mom
good.
into
That's
K-dramas.
cute. That's cute.
And also Troy Daniel. Boy was doing his squats. Let's just say that. No, but that's a good one. It's very sweet, and it's just, there's also a little Nuna romance line in it, and like it's nice. It's nice. Sorry, Trish.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Good answer.
For tearjerkers, I generally avoid sad endings.
Yes,
like I matrix that. All right, as we can see, fuck sad endings. There was one that I would say I laughed and cried a lot for, but it ultimately had a happy ending, which was Be Melodramatic, and not enough people talk about that drama.
Yes.
And its OST is also like was it your shampoo scent in the flowers or something? That song went viral, but nobody talks about that drama. I love that drama.
Scarlet Heart Rio.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Ow.
It is literally one of my favorite dramas, despite the ending. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's like the ending offended me as a writer and as a watcher. But despite that, I even own it because I love it. Lee Joon-gi is like my favorite actor. So.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
For me, okay, I've got two. One that I literally just finished this week. It's on Netflix. It's called Move to Heaven. And I don't cry during shows.
Yeah.
I don't cry during show. I was sobbing so hard. My husband was like, "Did something happen? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, the show is just so emotional. But the other one, which is one of my favorite dramas as well, is called Contract Marriage. Like, it's telling you right out what the genre is. But oh boy. Whew. It's a good one. It's a good one.
All right, and I'll interrupt you. Have you got any others you'd recommend for starters? I'm sure you've got a list.
Yeah. So my favorites to recommend to new people, my favorites personally are When the Camilla Blooms. It's on Netflix. Healer, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of an action. It's not like supernatural. It's just kind of like action rom-com. Very good, kind of a classic. And currently right now, I'm very much enjoying Doom at Your Service. I don't know how it's going to end, but I'm vibing with it. I'm a big fan. So.
Okay.
Luce?
I think comedy is a good way to get people into it, but also like feelings and You Who Came from the Stars.
Oh, that's a great one.
If you want something a bit more normal, Terriers Behind Me had me in stitches, but also feels, because him with the kids was just, it was a picture. Adorable. It was a picture. If you like stuff like where the big guy looking after the kids, like that sort of genre thing, but then also has, you can't explain K-dramas. They're just everything. Hotel Del Luna, if you like supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
But also
and that OST is amazing.
You will need tissues. Yeah. You will need tissues.
You will need tissues.
And not just like for the overall arc, for like episode by episode. Sometimes like it will be.
And IU's parade of awesome outfits.
Yeah, her
IU is sensational in that she, like, you fall in love with that character.
Yeah.
Screw any other like love interest. You're like, I want to be.
I want IU.
Her. Yeah.
Okay. Crash Landing on You, which is on Netflix. 30 but 17.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. And It's Okay Not to Be Okay.
That's a good one as well.
On Netflix as well. One that just recently finished, where they actually kind of went through kind of a stink where they had to change out the lead actor because of a scandal with the original guy, was River Where the Moon Rises. And I was nervous about that one because of having to change the actor midstream. But Na and Wu came in and just made that role his own, and he was phenomenal in it. But and then one other I just recently finished that I cannot recommend highly enough is Navalera. It's on Netflix. It is beautiful. It's literally one of the best things I've ever seen.
W
for me
is interesting.
Yeah, W is really interesting.
Oh yeah, and the art style. There's like some beautiful art styles going on in it. Very unique.
That's another sci-fi one. One of those rare sci-fi situations.
It's really, you can't explain it. We have to watch it.
Yeah, I love a sci-fi.
For me, I'm gonna go with Because This Is My First Life, which is on Netflix. Is excellent. If you like crime stuff, this is a bit of an older one, so you got to track it down. But it's called Cruel City or Heartless City. It's great. Prison Playbook, which is which is on Netflix as well, is incredible. As is Hospital Playlist, and the second season of that's coming out soon. And for people who are more into supernatural stuff, Let's Fight Ghost. Or Bring It On Ghosts. Very fun and really well done. And then another one is one of my all-time favorites.
The karaoke scene in that, sorry.
It's good. Another one of my all-time favorites, it's a bit of an older one. It's from 2015, and it's called Fool's Love or Hogu's Love. And it has Yui in it. And it also has the guy who starred in Parasite in it. So if you're into that, but it is, I can't even describe the emotions that I went through watching this. Wow. But it also has a really funny scene involving condoms, which is very rare for a K-drama. So it's a fun one. So yeah.
Awesome. And guys, send me all of those as well, and I'm going to put them in the description so anyone watching this video can actually refer down and get some tips, including me, because I haven't remembered to write them all down. Has anyone else got any questions? Swenson or anyone in the chat?
Give us the questions.
Give us your questions, or we're going to wrap it up. No?
I'm good for now.
Okay, look, guys.
Swenson's like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
Are there any? Yeah, we could do idol suggestions. Do you have an idol? I can suggest a drama, probably.
Lucy coming in clutch with The Boy Next Door on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now that is a drama. That is a web.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And it really mocks the tropes of things as well.
Is that Flower Boy Next Door?
No. It's called Boy Next Door.
Oh, okay.
He's not watched it.
That's the guy from
Parasite
Roommate
and Gummy Home.
Parasite. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was not very descriptive of me. I'm very sorry.
No.
It's so quick to watch.
Yeah, the lead character from My Roommate is a Gummy Hoe, and also Kill It, if you've seen that. And he's in Search WWW.
Search WWW.
Yeah, it's an excellent show. Search WWW.
If you want to talk about strong women and Nuna romances and every powerful character is a female, and that was absolutely women in tech. It was amazing, and really shouts out to that.
Yeah, and it also has the guy from Parasite in it, and they play next door neighbors who hate each other, but through various misunderstandings, everyone thinks that they're lovers, essentially. So
it will have
so
you
funny.
crying.
It is,
okay, I'll have to watch this.
It will have you crying.
Hang on, what's the name of that one again?
It's called Boy Next Door. It's all on YouTube. You can. It's so funny.
And the guy, I can't remember his name. The guy that's from Kill It and stuff. You just don't expect him in a role like this.
No, and it's just.
And that makes it even better.
It's so funny. Like it was a very well done drama.
And the German guy, the poor German guy.
The poor German guy. And their female friend who keeps like
who's got a crush on
walking in at the worst moments. Yeah. It's a good
beautiful.
one. It's well done.
It's Jang Ki-young.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wrap it up because I know you guys could probably stay here and talk about drama for another couple of hours.
Literally forever.
But look, thank you so much, guys. I pretty much left it to these guys, these K-drama experts, to put today's show together. So I got a nice rest. I can just sit here and enjoy all the talk. So thanks very much. Look, I know probably most of you watching this know, but in case you don't, remember our final Kingdom debrief is on tomorrow. 9 o'clock or 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Let's hope it's all subbed by then.
And also Imitation. We're going to be doing Imitation debrief as well. So we will see you for that. And yes, stay tuned for the next main Road to Hagdom episode. Bye.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.